My computer, and we're gonna get started. All right, guys. So I am going to just mute everybody just for background noise. I love questions. I feel like it's more of like a conversation. If you ask questions, I feel like questions make more sense if you ask like in the moment, not that you can't ask afterwards, but don't feel like you have to like remember your questions, write them down. And I'm honestly not super great about the chat. I have mom brain and pregnancy brain, so like I don't often look at the chat. So if you have any questions, just unmute yourself. It's likely I say it all the time, but I can only imagine that if you have a question, somebody else has the same one. So please feel free to interrupt me and ask your question in the moment. I do get out of breath really easily these days, so I apologize. And yeah, okay, so it is August 26th, Monday, and we're going to go over Coach Basics. I try to run this call once a month, the last Monday of every month, just to basically exactly what it sounds, go over the basics. So we're going to be talking about vision and goal setting, kind of like that mindset piece with your business, having that really big, strong why, having big, hairy, scary goals, having that vision and why that's important. Then we're going to go over Success Club and incentives, like what Success Club exactly means, why you want to get to Success Club, and the incentives that Beachbody does for that, the different ranks and controlled business center and what that means, and volume. Now, rank and controlled business center and volume kind of overlap a little bit with the Push to Emerald call, but it never hurts to hear things more than once. I know for me, in general, but especially as a new coach, the more I heard things and the more I heard them in different contexts and from different people, it's like more and more light bulbs will go off every time I heard it. So hopefully you'll listen to this call and you'll have a bunch of takeaways, whether it's for you yourself or for you as a leader to help your personally sponsored coaches advance their business forward. So first and foremost, we're going to go over vision and goal setting. So especially as a new coach, I want you to think of this business not as something more. I think a lot of people come into this business, or a lot of people think about becoming a coach and they see it as something more because they don't know otherwise, right? I think it's pretty common to do that. Like, I don't have time. This is something added to my plate. How would I fit everything in? Whatever. Don't think of it as something more that's added to your plate. Try your best to kind of tweak that mindset a little bit and think of it as your outlet that you can control. We just had our glimpse into coaching, our little event, and a couple of people spoke on this because that's exactly what it is. And I know for me, that's 100% what it is. And I didn't even really make the connection until I heard somebody else, Ashley Fell Dyson, talk about it in this way. And I had a huge light bulb moment because that's exactly what this is. Life is busy. Busy isn't your superpower. We're all busy. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. We all, find a way to make it work. So instead of seeing this as something more that you have to do, I have to send these invites, I have to reach out to my challengers, I have to follow up, I have to post on social media. Think of your business as this thing that you get to do. This is an outlet that you can control. I'm a control freak. And so I appreciate that this business, I'm in control. It makes me feel good. When life feels like it's kind of spiraling out of control, we all have busy lives. We all have, you might have a full-time job. You have a household to maintain. You have a family. You might have kids. You have a significant other. You have appointments. Life just happens. But if you can dedicate even a small amount of time every day, it kind of makes me feel more centered. Like, I just feel good when I know I'm in control of my business. You can't control your Success Club numbers. You can't control who joins your team, but you can control your posts on social media and posting value on social media versus posting just to post. You can control how many friend requests and follow requests you send every day. You can control how many invites you send every day. You can control how many follow-ups you send every day. Think of it as something that you are in control of, and I think it's really going to help change your mindset if that's something that you're currently struggling with, or if you have a personally sponsored coach or prospect who might be thinking in that way. Treat this business as a business that you've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think the fact that essentially to sign up as a coach with a challenge pack is free is kind of a blessing and a curse sometimes, because I think if we were to invest more money in it up front, it might be easier for those of us who it's hard for, it might be easier to take it more seriously or treat it more like a business. But when it's free or you're only paying that $40 sign-up fee, it's easy to kind of let this business go to the back burner. It's easy to say, oh, I'll get to those invites tomorrow. It's easy to say, I'll start on Monday. But if you, again, tweaking that mindset, tweaking that vision, if you can come into it and treat this business as if you have just wiped out your life savings and your ass is on the line, then you're going to treat it that way, because you have no other option but to dig yourself out of that financial hole and to at least break even, and then to, make that additional income. Think of it as if, this is a legit business. It might look a little different from the outside. It seems a little different. It's not your average, like, let me own a Dunkin' Donuts or a Walmart or a whatever. But if you can treat it like a business like that, think about how much money the owners of the Dunkin' Donuts around the corner from you, or the Starbucks, or even the mom and pop shop, think of how much money they had to put down to start that business. Think about the time, the man hours that they had to put in to start that business, because they want to do as much of it themselves, right? Because otherwise they have to pay people that they don't have to help them do those things. So think about the vision that they have for their business. This is their plan A, and there is no plan B. There's no wiggle room to not make this a successful thing. And that's kind of what you need to think about when you start your Beachbody business. And that's what you need to help your coaches see when they start their business, that, it's the equivalent of starting a legit business. And if you treat it that way, it's going to pay you out that way. What you put in is what you're going to get out. So if you treat it as a hobby, you're going to get paid as a hobby coach. And if that's cool with you, then that's cool. That's what you want, then that's what you want. But if you're looking to replace an income, a teaching income, a nurse's income, whatever, a corporate income, if that's your goal, then your actions have to meet that. Your actions have to meet your goals. If you want to replace an income, you have to treat it that way so that it's going to pay you that way. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme thing. This is legit business, and it takes work and it takes time. But there's that compound effect, baby. If you haven't read for a while the Compound Effect book, I highly, highly, highly suggest that book. It is amazing. It really puts things into perspective about how little things compounded over time add up to big results. So and I'll get into this in a second. Well, maybe I'll just run into it now. We talk about the escalator mindset. Ashley Feld-Dyson talks about her association with it is putting a pebble in your pile. And every little thing you do, it may seem insignificant at the time, but everything you do adds up. So every workout you do, because we got to be a product of the product, that's putting a pebble into your pile. Every time you drink your shake and share about it, in your stories or on your storefront, that's adding a pebble to your pile. Every time you invite somebody, a pebble, a follow-up, a pebble, a post, a pebble, whatever. Every little thing that's, part of the vital behaviors, everything that you do adds up over time. So Ashley talks about how, you're just going through the motions, you're doing your job, you're living your day, life, day by day, living your life, working out, sending an invite, sending a follow-up, pile, pebble, pile, until you turn around one day and you have built this ginormous mountain. You have made something, this huge mountain, And it started with one pebble, because every little thing you do adds up. And that's what the compound effect talks about. Like, it may seem insignificant at the time, like, oh, if you have a set number of invites that you strive to invite or strive to send every day, and there comes a day that you're like, yeah, I don't feel like it today. Or another day, like, I don't have time. Or you come to, you're following a specific list and you come to somebody that you went to high school with and you're nervous about what they're going to think of you and you skip them. Like, those things will add up. It might not seem like it makes much difference because it's in the moment, it's like one day, but that one day might turn into 2 days, might turn into 3 days, 10 days, 20 days, and it adds up over time. And before you know it, you've sent half the amount of invites that you thought you were sending. So definitely know that everything you do adds up every day. Your tasks that you set for yourself are important, and it's important to, we all have our days. Nobody's perfect. But like, for example, if I try to send 20 to 25 invites a day, 5 days a week, if I miss them on Friday, sometimes Fridays are hit or miss, my son's nap, blah, 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 I make up for it on Saturday. So within a given week, I'm sending at least 100 to 125 invites a week. So I'll make up for it. Because I know that I have big goals with this business, and I know that even skipping those 10 or 15 or whatever I didn't get to on that Friday is going to add up over time. Think about this business as your avenue to freedom. So it's something you can control. It's a legit business. It's going to pay you how you want it to if you work it. It's going to get you to freedom. So like, that's all of that is kind of the, I guess, like the tangible, like what you need to do to get there. But then the mindset aspect of it is like thinking of it as your avenue to freedom. Like, it's a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of man hours. Yeah, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see the success overnight. But if you have that vision that your success in this business is inevitable as long as you stay the course, then that's going to help you keep showing up every single day. This business is your avenue to freedom. And I love this part because freedom looks differently to everybody. You might find that when you start really bringing in your niche, you have a very similar vision, mindset, and theory about what freedom looks like. Like, a lot of my girls are stay-at-home moms. That was like their vision for their life. But whatever freedom means to you, that's what this business can do for you if you're doing the things I've already talked about, if you're treating it as a business, if your actions are meeting your goals, if you're adding to your pebble, if you're compounding over time, it's going to lead you there. So you have to think about, to really dig and think about what freedom means to you. And I love using the analogy, like, okay, so I just told you, for me and my niche, it's, being in control, being the mom you've always wanted to be, being present. Not everybody on my team wants to be a stay-at-home mom, but a lot of people on my team are moms, and a lot of people wanted that time freedom and that financial freedom to be home with their kids. Total opposite end of the spectrum is Patrick Ruhlman. He's our CEO of Team Boom. And I always think about how he always talks about how he was in like accounting and finance. And there was always certain times of the year that he just could not take time off. Like, he literally couldn't. And there was a Success Club trip that his parents, who are both coaches, and his sisters, Annie and Amy, they went on a Success Club trip like early on. And they took a picture, the four of them took a picture with somebody else, forget who it was. And they sent him the picture with the caption like, this is our new adopted son or something, like, because he was left out. And he was like, from then on, I was like, I'm never missing a trip ever again. Like, he just hated that he wasn't in control of the time that he could take off. He had the money, but someone else was always in charge and dictating his vacation, and he didn't like that anymore. So for him, it's the flexibility to just get up and leave whenever he wants. So think about what freedom means to you. Think about how bad you want that freedom. Maybe you don't want to leave your full-time job. There's like Lindsay was just on our sneak peek video and she was saying how she never wants to leave her job. And I was like, hell yeah. Like we all have different goals. So think about what freedom means to you. Think about why you've started this business and think about what you are willing to do, to give up, to sacrifice in order to achieve that freedom. Like, are you willing to go to bed late? Are you willing to wake up an hour earlier? Are you willing to eat your lunch on your lunch break at work at your desk by yourself while you're sending invites instead of, chatting with your coworkers? Like, what are you willing to sacrifice? I've sacrificed a lot of sleep and I've sacrificed a lot of TV, sacrificed some family time. One of my favorite sayings or hashtags or whatever you want to call it is short-term sacrifice for long-term results. I don't have to give up all the shows that I like to watch forever, but right now my goals are way too big to care about what's happening with the Kardashians. Like, I have goals to achieve. I am, and you have to think about your why. Like, why are you doing it? What is your vision? What does freedom look like to you? And to me, it really boils down to, I want to stay home, but what it boils down to is like my kids and more time with my family and being able to say yes to my kids more often and that sort of thing. So you have to have that mindset, that vision, that why for your business, and let that drive you every single day, even when it's not convenient, even when you don't think you have the time, even when it's not comfortable. That's a big one that I think we don't talk about enough. Like, even when it's not comfortable to post whatever picture on social media, even when it's not comfortable to invite a certain person because you think of what they might think of you or whatever, like, your goals and your vision have to be way bigger than that. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to, as a new coach, you're going to come into this business probably wanting to help people. And that's totally cool, because if you didn't want to help people, this is the wrong business to be in. But over time, it's going to evolve and it's going to grow. And so I challenge you to continue every day to really think about and dig deep to what your why is, to what your vision is, and what your mind, get your mindset straight, because that's what's going to push you to show up every day when you don't feel like it. So start dreaming. Dream really big. Your dreams and your goals should be so lofty that if you were to share them with somebody outside of the Beachbody community, they might laugh at you, or they might chuckle, or you might feel weird telling those goals to someone outside the Beachbody community because they don't get it. They don't understand the possibilities within this business. But when you talk about it with us and our team, it's like, oh yeah, it's totally doable. It totally makes sense, because we understand the vision and we understand exactly what's possible as long as you hustle and as long as you're consistent. So that's the vision, goal, mindset piece. I'm going to get into Success Club and incentives. Deep breath. Again, if you have any questions, just interrupt, unmute yourself. I'd love questions. So Success Club, which a lot of us probably know, measures the amount of lives you've changed each month. I don't love talking about the fact that, we're selling challenge packs, but at the end of the day, we are selling challenge packs. But really what it is, it's not selling. Because I think I would be more inclined to use the word selling if we were legit, like, here you go, here's your challenge pack, see you later, bye. But we're not doing that. Like, our job starts when somebody orders their challenge pack. But basically, Success Club measures the amount of lives you've changed. So everything we sell has a points system associated with it. So all challenge packs, and challenge packs are a combination of multiple products, and there's so many different combinations. So like, there's things, like the biggest one is Beachbody On Demand All Access for the year and Shakeology. Beachbody On Demand All Access for the year and Performance Line. But then there's ones like the 2B Mindset and Shakeology, or the 3-Day Refresh and Shakeology. So there's a bajillion different challenge packs. You get 2 points, 2 Success Club points for that. You also get 2 Success Club points when somebody goes on Shakeology Home Direct. You get 2 Success Club points. You also get 2 Success Club points when, forget the exact number. I think it's when someone orders at least 90 PV, and I'll get into volume. That's personal volume points. 90 volume points worth of product on Home Direct, meaning they are agreeing to get it monthly. I think you also get 2 Success Club points for that. I will triple check that. I think it's 90. I'm not 100% sure. But the benchmark to hit Success Club is 5. Most of the ways to earn Success Club points, you're going to get 2. So now the bar is kind of like 6. It used to be 5 because Shakeology Home Direct was 1 Success Club point, so it made sense for it to be 5. But now it's essentially 6, but technically 5 if there's a way around it. But once you've hit Success Club, it's, you've obtained that goal. But that doesn't mean that's where you want to stop. You will see it's the end of the month, so we have some girls on our team who have earned Success Club 6, 8, 10. Just because you've achieved Success Club doesn't mean that's when you stop. You stop inviting, you stop pushing at 12 p.m. midnight on the last day of the month every month. Because our goal is to help as many people as possible every month, not to just hit Success Club. Success Club there's so much more to this business than Success Club, but I do love Success Club for a number of reasons. But one of them is because it is a good way to gauge your progress. You're not going to hit Success Club unless you're inviting. You're not going to be inviting unless you are posting and being a product of the product. So it's kind of like a domino effect. Success Club means that you're doing the things. You're doing the things to move your business forward. If you're helping 3 people a month, and then you're, like I said, that's when our job starts, is when we sell those challenge packs. Then you have at least 3 people a month, if not more. And if you are doing your job and you are putting them in your challenge group and you are giving them that awesome experience, then the idea is maybe they'll turn into coaches. And then once they turn into coaches, that's when you're going to rank advance, and that's when your team is growing, and it kind of just snowballs from there. There are incentives with Success Club. Number 1 being Success Club prizes. So Beachbody used to do a prize every month, but it's a great problem to have. There's probably too many coaches hitting Success Club. So they changed the policy, and now you get 1 gift if you hit Success Club 1 month in the year. You get a second gift if you've hit it 3 times in the year, and you get a third gift if you've hit it 6 times in the year. And I think it's really neat because I don't think it's something Beachbody has to do. I think it's really kind of amazing that they do this. And the gifts are totally range. I'm looking at my Joel and my Tony bobbleheads. We've had exclusive access to a podcast with Rachel Hollis before. They've done there's been 2 different backpacks now. They've done a tank before. I think they've done a shaker cup. Some of the things are really, I got a selfie stick once. Some of the things are really cool and that you would actually use. So it's kind of fun and exciting. The other thing they do is Success Club Starter. So as a brand new coach, if you get Success Club your first 3 full months as a coach, then you get your ticket to the next year's summit for free, which is like a $250 value or something. I say the first 3 full months because, for example, if you were to sign up today, August 26th, they're not going to count August as your first month because you only have 6 days to hit, 5 days to hit Success Club, and that's not really fair. So they would count September, October, and November as your first full 3 months. Unless you had 3 people lined up and you could hit Success Club by the end of the month, they would allow you to use August as your first month if you wanted to. Last but not least is the Success Club trip. So every year we have a trip, and it's different than Summit. Summit is so fun, but Summit is definitely more like a work trip, whereas the Success Club trip is like a vacation. There are still the celebrity trainers to work out with, and there are still a couple of trainings with the corporate panel and stuff, but it's nothing like Summit. It's truly like a vacation. And the amazing thing is that it's fully paid for minus the flight. all inclusive. The only one I've been on so far is, I didn't go my first time I was invited because it was my son's first birthday. And I was like, oh, I don't want to miss his birthday. And then last year we went to Mexico. And then this past year I didn't go because I was pregnant and they were going to a Zika area and it was a cruise. But next year I will definitely be there. We're going to the Dominican Republic. It's so much fun. So basically everybody who hits Success Club Beachbody generates like a giant list. And when it's time, they invite X amount of people off the list until they hear back from people, and they keep going down the list until they've filled all the spots. So it's definitely something you want to strive for. And then I'm going to go over rank, control business center, and volume pretty quickly because it does. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so for the trip, do you have to hit Success Club every month to like win the trip?
So you don't necessarily have to hit it every month, but you're going to be more likely to be invited the more you hit it.
Okay, so it like kind of puts you up on a higher scale.
Exactly. Yeah. So the list is generated and you're invited off the list based on where you are on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So like right now, I'm assuming the 2021 is like all set. So I think I want to say like February, they'll start, like it'll come out, it is February because it's always around the Super Bowl. They'll tell us where we're going in 2021, and then the registration starts. So like there's like a list of 5,000 people. You can like look it up based on your coach ID number, like where you are. And then, yeah, you just wait for the invite. They're like, okay, we're, sending out invites to this many people, this many people, this many people. And depending on who accepts and who declines, they, realize how many more spots they have. And then they're able to invite that many more people until they fill all the spots.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay.
That's really cool. Usually, so the cruise, there was only one cruise. So I think there was less spots, although the cruise is huge. But usually when we go to like an island or something, there's two, what they call waves. So there's like a Sunday to Wednesday wave and then a Wednesday to Sunday wave. So I think there's usually more spots available, and usually we'll chat about like which one we want to go on, and we try to get as many Team Boom people on the same wave as we can.
Okay, cool.
It's so fun. It's like,
so now, do I like look for an email or something come February time?
So we'll talk about it, and it's
Okay.
It's part of the video with the Super Weekend video in like January.
All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah, you won't miss it. We'll all be talking about it, and people will be, sharing their thoughts on the location. And yeah, it was so fun. I had serious FOMO. Like I literally didn't watch anybody's stories when everybody was on the cruise because I was just like so sad to miss it. I was like 8 weeks pregnant or something, and I was like so bummed.
You had FOMO.
I had serious FOMO, especially because Christina, Erin, and Kelsey were all there, and Joe, and I was like so sad. Okay, so I'm going to go, like I said, I'm going to go over this pretty quickly because we do talk about this a lot in the Emerald call. But basically, we have rank and controlled business center. Everybody comes into this business as a coach. Then there is Emerald, and then there's Ruby, and then there's Diamond, and then there's Star Diamond. So your first rank goal in this business is Emerald. Emerald is when you have an active coach on your left and an active coach on your right. People are active when they order at least 50 volume points worth of product every month. It doesn't matter in Beachbody's eyes who your people are. Like they don't have to both be business builders. They can be like your mom and your husband, or your sister-in-law and your child's kindergarten teacher. Like it doesn't matter who they are or if they want to work the business or not. If you go into your coach online office and you go to monitor my business and then down to graphical genealogy, you'll see the coaches who are below you. Now, the coaches who are going to get you to Emerald are only your personally sponsored coaches. But when you go to graphical genealogy, you might see other coaches on there that you don't even know, or that are below you, but that you didn't sponsor. That's the team aspect coming into play, that is your coach, whether it's me or Kelsey or Christina or whoever, or your other teammates, like the coaches that your coach has brought on, their coaches, below you. That's where the strong leg aspect comes in. That's where the team approach comes in. There's going to be people below you who are going to be helping you build your strong leg that you might not even know. I encourage you to reach out to them and try to work together, because you guys are helping each other build the volume on that leg. So we talk about your strong leg and your weak leg. I can't tell you which one is which. It depends where you are in the genealogy of your sponsor coach. So that's something that your sponsor coach can help you with, or I can help you with. We'd have to kind of look at it together. But basically, everybody has a strong leg, which is what I said, which is like the team is helping you build that leg. And you have a weak leg, whereas 100% of the volume that happens on that leg is going to be your efforts. I think it's pretty neat that Beachbody does that. They make sure you can't just sign up as a coach and kind of freeload off of people. You have to put some skin in the game in order to cycle. Because when you cycle, that is when one leg's volume accrues to at least 200 points and the other leg's volume accrues to at least 100 points. You get to cash out. I think of it as being like a kid at Chuck E. Cheese. You get to cash out your tickets. And as an Emerald, that is $14 per, we call it a cycle when you cash out. $14. And as a Ruby, that's $16. And as a Diamond, that's $18. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but if you think about if you were to cycle 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100, 200 times a week, that's really going to add up. Each rank is capped. Like each rank, there is a cap number of times you can cycle. But that's getting into the nitty gritty of things. But so I won't go into specifics, but just so you know, so that, if you're getting close to capping out at a rank, then you want to hustle to get to that next rank so that you don't cap out and miss out on some possible residual income. So getting back to Emerald is your first rank that you want to try to hit. Again, we talk about this a lot in the Push to Emerald call, but that's when you have an active on your left or your strong and an active on your right or your weak, whichever is which one. One of those people is going to be what we call your controlled business center. We strongly advise, there's no right or wrong, but we advise you to put your controlled business center on your weak leg. Because like I said, the majority of your efforts are going to be building that leg. So you might as well put your controlled business center on your weak leg, because that's where a lot of your efforts are going to be concentrated. So you might as well benefit from all that hard work through your controlled business center and your business center. Usually your controlled business center is, well, it's what it sounds like. It's a business center that you can control. So it has to be somebody, but it's going to be in somebody else's name, and it has to be somebody that you really trust. Obviously, your first best bet, if you are married or in a serious relationship, is your significant other. Like for my husband and I, we don't even have to think twice about it because we share a bank account. So the money that his business center makes just goes into my bank account. But if you don't have that, you have to sign up somebody who's going to allow you to take their password, go into their Coach Online office, finagle a couple of things so that you can work their business, and they're going to receive their, the money that you make through that business center, they're going to receive it in their bank account. So it has to be someone that you trust that's going to, transfer you that money every week or every month or whatever you decide to, to kind of whatever kind of agreement you decide on. So if you don't have a significant other, think about like a really close family member, a parent, a sibling, a cousin, a really close friend. If you're struggling to find someone or to think of someone for that, then definitely reach out to your coach and we can help you. But the idea is that you would sign up that controlled business center as soon as possible, because otherwise the rest of that leg is going to start to be built, and you could you might miss out on some accrued volume that that business center could have otherwise taken advantage of. So like when I signed up, Annie was my coach. I had no idea what I was doing, but she encouraged me to sign up my husband on my weak leg. And so I did. And so I was putting people, you know, so I signed him up right away. And then after I signed him up, I was putting people under him because I was trying to build that side of my business so I could get to Emerald, get to Diamond and Cycle and all that fun stuff. So I, you know, here I am. I signed him up right away. I signed him up like 3 weeks into coaching. I had no idea what I was doing. And it's not, you're not going to reap the benefits of doing this overnight. It takes some time, but it's worth it because I signed him up right away. And then all of this activity started to happen underneath him. And so, you know, 4 years later, although it didn't take 4 years, but, you know, 4 years down the road, he now cycles. I think last week he cycled 10 times. Just because you know, I put him where I put him and I put him there when I did, because if I had waited 6 months or a year to put him down here, he would have missed out on all the volume and all the activity that was happening in between. But because I put him right here, right below me, right away, he now maximizes on all the volume that happens below us. So his business center cashes out every week and my business center cashes. It's like double dipping for yourself or your household, whoever it is that you sign up. So even if it doesn't make sense, you know, you want to trust your coach, you want to be coachable, you want to have that vision, that mindset. You're here for the long haul. It's the smart thing to do. You want to do it right away. Not only does signing a controlled business center help you get halfway to, I mean, that's one coach. So that's getting you halfway to Emerald, right? But that's your goal. That's your first goal, is to get to Emerald. So signing up your controlled business center is getting you halfway there. So it's like a win-win. Why wouldn't you do it? Getting to Emerald also means you're growing your team. It means you're doing your job. It's a compound effect. Like if you're getting to Emerald, that means you're sending the invites. If you're getting to Emerald, it means you're, you know, signing up challengers. If you're getting to Emerald, it means you're giving those challengers an awesome experience, and then they're turning into coaches, whether it's discount coach or business coach or otherwise. Once you hit Emerald, you can start to accrue that volume. You can start to participate in that residual side of things. If you are not an active Emerald, those volume points that you could be accruing are going to be wasted. You can't accrue. You can't add to your, like, think of it as like a bank account on your left and on your right. You can't add to your bank account unless you're an active Emerald. So you might be, what's the word I'm looking for? You might be eligible, I should say, to, you know, you might have those volume points available to you, but you can't hold on to them unless you're an active Emerald. So if you're not an active Emerald, those volume points are just getting wasted, which is sad news. Also, as an active Emerald, you get to participate in the free lead program. That's when Beachbody gets customers sent right to them who don't otherwise have a coach. Beachbody will distribute those free customers to coaches who qualify to get them, meaning you're at least an active Emerald or higher and you're hitting Success Club. And then you get free leads. Not all of them end up being awesome. Some of them don't want anything to do with you. But the ones who do come through and the ones who are happy to chat with you are great. When you're an active Emerald and you hit Success Club, you get customer leads who are buying like the programs and some of the products. When you get Success Club 10 or higher and you're an active Emerald or higher, you get those customers, the customer leads, and you get Shakeology leads. The difference is that with the Shakeology leads, you get the 25% commission from their first order and every order thereafter. Whereas with just the regular customer leads, you don't get the commission on their first order. You only get the commission on every order thereafter. And usually with Shakeology, sometimes people are on Home Direct. So that means you're getting that commission every month. So it's like a little bit more of an incentive to hit Success Club 10 and get those extra leads. So it's more leads and it's kind of like better leads. Oh, I forgot to say this. When you sign up your Controlled Business Center, you want to think, and you can talk to your coach about this, and we can kind of help you figure out what the best route is, especially if you're signing up a significant other. You want to think about what makes the most sense, because if they buy a challenge pack, they're going to get that $40 coach business startup fee waived. And you might be thinking, okay, well, I already ordered a challenge pack because we don't need anything else. But we don't need the same thing again. You can think of we can help you think of a new challenge pack to order through them so that you're getting new products that you haven't tried before. So for example, if you ordered, when you signed up Shakeology and Beachbody On Demand, when you signed up your Control Business Center, maybe you get the 3-day refresh and Shakeology or something. So you can try a new Shakeology flavor. You can try the 3-day refresh. Remember, you want to be a product of the product. This gives you an opportunity to try new products so that you have experience with new products to talk to your prospects about. Also, when you sign up your Controlled Business Center, you're getting the 25% commission. So it's kind of like getting 40 or 50 bucks off. Also, it helps you accrue volume. It helps you get you halfway to Emerald. They get the business fee waived, and you get 2 Success Club points. So it's like a win-win-win-win-win. Again, this is not something you see results with right away. Like signing up your husband or your significant other or your mom, they're probably just going to sit there for a while. Like you're not going to start to build their business right away. You want to focus on yours until yours is a solid business with buffers. You might decide to use that Controlled Business Center as one of your emeralds to get to diamond, but you're not going to truly build that business center until yours is in a better position. But it's just the smart thing to do to sign them up and pay their business fee and keep them active as one of your coaches to keep your emerald status. Your goal once you hit emerald is not to ever drop emerald. So you want to create buffers. So like extra people. So you have your mom and your husband, and that's great, but maybe your mom stops drinking Shakeology, and so you don't want to ever lose that coach because then you're not going to keep your emerald status. You want buffers. You want more people underneath your husband and your mom, and more people and more people. Not only is that a buffer to help you always maintain at least your emerald status, but it's also going to help you get that much closer to diamond. Diamond is 4 coaches on your left, 4 coaches on your right with buffers. If you're, the smart move is to have buffers, not just rely on those 4 and 4. And then one of each of those 4 is an active emerald. So like I said, $14 per cycle as an emerald, $16 per cycle as a ruby, and $18 per cycle as a diamond. It might not sound like a lot at first, but it adds up over time. We have people on Team Boom who earn thousands of dollars every month just on the residual side of things. So that's residual, that's the cycling. Plus, you still continue to get that 25% commission on everything you sell. So it's Emerald is where it's at, because until then you're earning that 25% commission. Then once you hit Emerald and you're able to participate in the residual side of things, you're continuing to get that 25% commission. And in addition, you're getting the residual income, which is, that's really the fun start. So just think about what you could be doing with that money. Think about how that money could change your life. Dream big. Think about where you want to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Really break down your goals monthly, weekly, daily, and think about the things that you need to be doing. Remember that compound effect. Everything you're doing adds up. And then remember, half of this business you learn as you do. You're not going to know everything right away. No one goes to school for Beachbody coaching. It's just the way it is. Through our mentorship training, you'll learn like half of what you need to know. And then the other half you learn as you go. Jump in, make mistakes. That's par for the course. It happens. And you learn from those mistakes and you keep moving forward. That's how you grow. That's how you become the best leader that you can be. So know that it's normal. Not everybody knows. I still don't know everything. I'm sure I've made a mistake on this call, but I'm not going to let that stop me from sharing this information with you. That's how I learn and that's how I grow. And by listening to this call, that's how you learn and that's how you'll grow. So, do you guys have any questions? I know it's a lot of information. Like I said, we'll go over more of that, the last couple of things in the Push to Emerald call. And I'm excited to start in September. I'm going to start a Push to Diamond call once a month as well. I'm going to be doing the marketing calendar hopefully tomorrow, and I'll share more about that. But we'll continue with the Coach Basics once a month. We'll do Push to Emerald every other week and a Push to Diamond once a month as well. So lots of info. Take it one day at a time. Let me know if you have any questions, and I appreciate you guys hopping on, and I apologize for my mistake at the beginning. I will not make that mistake again. If you guys have any questions, tomorrow, the next day, whatever that you pop into your head, don't hesitate to ask. Okay? And I'll get the recording up as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. You're welcome.